Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe my channel. Tammy Slaton is arguably 1000 Sisters' biggest star, but there are signs she may leave the beloved show for good. The series premiered in 2020 and chronicled the incredible weight loss journeys of 38-year-old Tammy and her 37-year-old sister, Tammy Slaton. It even gets its provocative title from Tammy and Amy, who once weighed a combined 1,000 pounds. When they made their TV debuts, weighed over 400 pounds, while Tammy weighed over 600 pounds. Neither of the sisters was living their best lives, but Tammy was barely mobile. She couldn't do anything for herself, rarely left the house, and was a prisoner of her own body. Despite her diminished quality of life, Tammy continued to gain weight, getting up to 725 pounds at her heaviest. At her heaviest, Tammy seemed to just give up. She dropped her diet, stopped trying to up her activity level, and started drinking with a bad group of friends all the time. Not only did Tammy give up on herself, but so did everyone else. Then Tammy fell ill and had to be rushed to the hospital. She was put in a week-long medically induced coma, and when she awoke, she realized she had to do something or she'd die. She checked herself into a weight loss rehab facility, treated her food addiction, got bariatric surgery, and lost a stunning 500 pounds. Losing so much weight changed Tammy's life, and there are signs the 1000 Sisters Season 6 star could be finished with the show that made her a star. Tammy's been through so much. Checking into the weight loss rehabilitation facility was a turning point in Tammy's life. Not only did it set her on her path toward health and fitness, but it also led Tammy to her husband. Tammy met another patient, 45-year-old Caleb Willingham, and the couple quickly fell in love. It was a big departure from Tammy's usual romantic interests, as Caleb was the first overweight man she had dated. Still, the two bonded quickly and were married in a small ceremony attended by family and friends. Though Tammy and Caleb were deeply in love, they were on different weight loss journeys. Tammy lost enough weight to qualify for bariatric surgery, while Caleb continued to gain more weight. In 2023, Tammy sadly announced Caleb had died due to health complications. Tammy was devastated by the loss and could be part of the reason she wants to leave the show and have a fresh start. Tammy has wanderlust. Before losing weight, Tammy was trapped in her house. Leaving was a big affair that required a wheelchair, ramp, oxygen tank, specialty van, and someone strong enough to wheel Tammy around. She was rarely even leaving the house much, so traveling was out of the question. Since her bariatric surgery, Tammy has grown more adventurous. During 1000 Sisters Season 5, Tammy and the rest of the Slatons went to Florida for a family vacation. It was Tammy's first airplane ride and her first trip to the ocean. Later that year, Tammy made a dream come true by going to Disney World for the first time. Domestic travel went so well, Tammy decided to expand her horizons internationally. During 1000 Sisters Season 6, Tammy and the Slatons went across the pond to the UK. Seeing more of the world has made Tammy eager to expand her horizons. Tammy's feud with Amanda. After getting back from the rehab facility, Tammy moved out of her own place and into a rental house owned by one of her siblings, 44-year-old Amanda Halterman. Tammy had been renting Amanda's guest house and accused her of being a bad landlord. She'd alleged Amanda refused to make repairs promptly. After a massive fight during a 1000 Sisters Season 6 family meeting, Tammy and Amanda said terrible things to each other, and Tammy put in her notice to move out of Amanda's house. The fight got worse, and the sisters didn't speak to each other for months. Since then, Amanda has gotten more screen time than usual, and Tammy could be annoyed at having to let down by her family. Tammy's familial ire wasn't solely reserved for Amanda. After Tammy's big fight with Amanda during 1000 Sisters Season 6, Tammy told Amy she was also angry at their other siblings, 44-year-old Chris Combs and 48-year-old Misty Wentworth. She alleged that Chris and Misty hadn't been there for her since she got back from the rehabilitation facility. She said Misty used to call her every day when she was in rehab, but the calls stopped once Tammy got back home. Ironically, Tammy is so mad at Chris, considering he's the one who gave her a place to live after her big fight with Amanda left Tammy homeless. The Slatons are a close-knit family, and their dynamic is a big part of the show. If Tammy's disappointed by her family, she could want to leave the show to get away from them. Tammy wants to leave Kentucky. Tammy has recently been threatening to leave Kentucky, and it's largely because of her family. 1,000 Old Sisters films in Kentucky, where the show cashes in on lucrative tax incentives designed to lure productions to the bluegrass state. The incentives are probably what makes the show possible. If Tammy moves away from Kentucky, as she has been threatening to do, it could mean the end of the show. Tammy could, in theory, live in a different state but return to Kentucky during production. However, that wouldn't be a sustainable solution. The bottom line is Tammy and Amy are the stars of the show, and if Tammy leaves Kentucky, the show will likely be cancelled. Tammy should stop threatening to leave the show, or producers may decide for her. Tammy wants to flex her independence. After Tammy had bariatric surgery and lost 500 pounds, she regained most of her mobility. She used to need help with basic daily chores like bathing and cleaning her house. Since losing weight, Tammy has regained her mobility and her independence. Understandably, she wants to flex her newfound independence, and it could lead to the 1,000 Old Sisters Season 6 star leaving the show. Before Tammy lost weight, she couldn't fit in a regular car seat, let alone the driver's seat, so she never learned to drive. Back then, she had to be driven around in a specialty van with the middle seat ripped out so she could sit on the floor. Tammy was too big for a seat belt, so it wasn't safe for her. Now that she can easily fit into the driver's seat of any car, Tammy has resisted learning to drive. Tammy will never be independent until she can drive herself, but once that happens, her time on the show could be limited. Tammy could have issues with Chris and Brittany. When Tammy needed a new place to live, the rental market was tight, so her brother, Chris, stepped in to save the day. Chris is a fan favorite because he's always there when his family needs him. He and his wife, 36-year-old Brittany Combs, had purchased the small house next door to their house. They planned to fix the rundown house as a rental property, but decided to rent it to Tammy instead. Tammy had to leave Amanda's house before her new house was ready, so the 1,000 Old Sisters Season 6 star ended up having to move into Chris and Brittany's house for several weeks in the meantime. Chris's daughter and granddaughter already live there, so it's a full house. Chris was adequately worried that living with Tammy could end badly, but he felt he had no choice. Even with Tammy living next door, she will likely have conflicts with Chris and Brittany, which could drive her from the show. Amanda could replace Tammy. Though Tammy's sister, Amanda, didn't even appear on the show until 1,000 Old Sisters Season 4, her drama-filled life has made her an entertaining addition. After divorcing her husband, Jason Holterman, Amanda re-entered the dating scene. She met a man named RJ, fell in love, and moved to Florida to be with him. RJ ended up ghosting Amanda, and she went back home to Kentucky. Amanda has been such an entertaining part of the show that she has taken center stage in the series, forcing Tammy and Amy to share the spotlight. With Amanda getting more screen time than usual during 1,000 Old Sisters Season 6, it has led to speculation Amanda could be getting ready to replace Tammy as the show's big star. If Tammy ends up leaving the show, Amanda could step in without missing a beat. Though fans may not like the switch, it may be the only way to save the show if Tammy decides to leave.